dogs, a man's best friend. But for children with autism, they're much more than that. They're lifelong partners. In recent years, there has been a growing impact of the remarkable bond between kids with autism, ASD, and service dogs. Now, we're gonna watch a video showcasing a child with autism and his first interactions with a dog.
Their little son has autism, and they don't hear him laugh much. But when they were dog sitting for a friend, this is how happy it made him.
In this video, we saw an interaction between a kid with autism spectrum disorder who rarely laughs due to his complex condition involving persistent challenges in social communication. However, when he first visits his house with a playful dog in it, he ends up playing with the pet and finally expresses his social side.
But their little son has autism, and they don't.
Good afternoon. My name is Camila Arnado, and today I will be discussing service dogs on children with autism. And my research question is, in what ways have service dogs contributed to the facilitation of care with children with autism spectrum disorder, ASD, in the 21st century? Service dogs have transformed therapy for children with ASD by maintaining a respectful distance while offering supervision and companionship. They incorporate a daily routine as well as preventing elopement. In a College for Provider Stimulus, Marcus Thompson states that during the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, the four-time gold medal gymnast Simone Biles unexpectedly pulled back from the competition. As one of the greatest gymnasts of all times, Biles faced immense pressure for external expectations and her own drive for perfection. In these moments, alternative methods such as the companionship of service dogs could offer help. These specially trained animals possess the ability to provide comfort, reduce anxiety, and offer unconditional support. For Biles, who faced the weight of the world's expectations on her own shoulders, the presence of a service dog could have served as a calming and grounding force throughout the chaos of the competition. So, what exactly is ASD? Autism spectrum disorder is like a puzzle with lots of different pieces. There isn't an exact cause of how it's developed, but it affects people in how they interact with others, communicate, behave, and process the world around them. Some people might need certain help in areas while others have different strengths. For some kids with ASD, things like making friends or understanding jokes can be kind of tricky. They might have their own unique interests and routines that they follow precisely. Things like certain sounds or textures might bother them more than they bother other people. In fact, 1 in 54 kids are diagnosed with ASD, autism spectrum disorder. Here are some successful and famous figures that have been diagnosed with ASD. First, Eminem, one of the fastest and most successful rappers in our 21st century. Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla and one of the richest men out there. And Einstein, the most well-known scientist. As claimed by David Stonia, a professor at the University of Alabama that specializes with ASD, through their senses and training, service dogs can detect changes in the kid's behavior, body language, signaling potential signs of distress. This early detection allows caregivers to intervene promptly and prevent potential safety hazards. Not only that, but dogs can actually shift their body weight onto a person, especially a kid, to stop certain traumas or certain tantrums. For example, biting themselves, hitting themselves, or just scratching themselves. For children with autism who may struggle with social interactions and forming relationships, the companionship of a service dog can be particularly meaningful. Service dogs offer non-bothering, non-judgmental presence, providing a source of comfort in times of anxiety. Their playful and affectionate gestures help emotional connections and create a sense of security and belonging. Children with autism often thrive on routine, finding comfort and security patterns in behaviors and activities. Similarly, dogs also need a daily routine to follow, as it helps them feel secure and understand what's expected of them. By engaging in consistent and predictable routines together, such as feeding, grooming, and playtime, the routine-based nature of their instructions promotes emotional stability and enhances the overall well-being of both the child and the dog. According to Olga Solomon, an experienced researcher in the fields of BCBA and ASD, states that 49% of children with ASD go to elopement after the age of 4. Of those who attempted to elope, 53 of those go missing. Elopement, also known as wandering, is a significant concern for families of ASD, of children with ASD. It refers to the tendency of individuals to wander away from a safe environment, potentially placing themselves in dangerous situations. In the graph on the left, we can see the percentages of children with ASD that elope. 71% being the highest due to drowning and 1% being the lowest due to falling. Now on the graph on the right, we can see the percentages of the kids that elope and the ages. Look how there's between 3 to 5 ages is like the most that they elope. If we combine these graphs together, it is clear to see that the children who elope the most are actually in the youngest ages, and this raises a huge concern for parents. However, service dogs can help cases of elopement because they can locate and bring back the child who has eloped, especially in outdoor areas. Collectively, supporting organizations can help raise awareness about ASD and service dogs in our community. This can lead to increased understanding and support for individuals with ASD and their families in various settings. Continued research can also help address unanswered questions and explore new ways for enhancing effectiveness for service dogs. The biggest impacts that I could come up with were that not only do service dogs help the child itself, but they help the overall family. They can also have indirect positive impacts on the family structure. Service dogs can help reduce parental stress and improve family dynamics as well. The presence of service dogs in various different public settings can help educate the public about autism and reduce the stigma around it. When people see service dogs actively assisting or supporting kids with ASD, they may develop a greater understanding and appreciation for the challenges faced by kids with ASD. This can lead to an increased empathy and acceptance, ultimately contributing to a more inclusive and supportive society for individuals with ASD and their families. Thank you.
All right, question I have for you. How valid and reliable were the sources that you used, and how do you know?
All of the sources that I used there were journals that were peer-reviewed, but not only that, but some of the sources that I also use come from doctors and certain families with children that have ASD, that have service dogs, and how it has helped them through it.
And what advice would you have for other people that want to look into this in the future?
The advice that I would have for other people that want to look into this into the future is to not base their sources on only doctor-based arguments, because a lot of this topic is mostly emotional and it bases off around the family and the children themselves.